All right, what's going on, Tycoon? Super excited for today's video. We are going to be looking at Visa, okay? And Visa, I think, is a really good deal right now for some long-term positions, um, which is why I'm making this video. All right. So, the financial sector is most likely going to see a sector rotation and most likely a good 3 to 6 months, okay, in the future. So what's key is to get in at a good price, and hold a position. All right. I have a previous video on Visa. You can click in the top right hand corner there, and there's some good debit spreads if you guys trade options, that are very, very profitable. Okay, we're talking hundreds of percent, max profit on these. All right, so I definitely watch that video if you want to get into some option trades that will pay much more than just holding the stock. But if you're looking to get a position on Visa, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a chart breakdown real quick. Okay. So here's what we got going on. We had a nice head and shoulders complete. Okay. So here's our left shoulder, our head, our right shoulder. Okay. And we hit the targets. We came back all the way down to here at this support level of 206. All right. Now, in the process of this, okay, we are currently forming a inverse head and shoulder. Okay, now this pattern isn't fully played out yet. Okay, and what I'm trying to do is just stay ahead of the curve and show what the chart is, chart what the what the chart is showing me. Okay, so we have a left shoulder right now, we have a head, and if we come up and we pull back down to this gap fill, which gaps fill about 90 to 95% of the time. So there's a gap fill down to 204 to 205. So let's say we run up and then we pull back and we fill this gap and we find support in our gap. And then we go and fill this gap up here from 224 to 231. Then that would be a lovely entry on some plays. Okay. So if you can enter the debit spread, that I showed you guys in those videos, when Visa enters back in around 204 to 205, those will be pretty profitable if you can, if you play a debit spread for this gap fill. All right. Now, with that being said, Visa could just run up and fill this gap before and, regain steam and, possibly even create new all-time highs before coming down and filling this gap. But I just want everyone to be prepared that Visa will eventually pull back to 204, 205. It just, it could be short term within the next month, or, it could be long term and that gap might not fill till the next market correction. Okay. So definitely keep that in mind. Our major support levels are going to be 206, 197, 189, 183, and 179. Now, we haven't tested the 183 or 179, so I wouldn't worry about those too much. Look to see if we bounce at 206 and we don't fill the gap down to 204 to 205. That would be pretty interesting if we find some support there. And then we've been bouncing around 197 and 189. Okay. So those are going to be our major support levels to keep an eye out on. And if you guys want a more in-depth video, basically covering why I think the financial sector is about to have a nice rotation into it, and why it's good to get into some, financial related stocks, okay, then go ahead and click this video right here and it'll tell you why, and it'll tell you exactly which stocks I think you should get.